Well. Happy Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And if you are in the Chizat, I want you to just press a 1 for me. Let me know that you can hear me. We are getting ready to dive or delve into the realities of the mixtures of the dark waters and keep watching the waters. But there's a lot that's coming to the surface, that's bubbling to the surface in the waters. It means a lot that the water is revealing unto us, especially these dark waters, dark revelations that are coming out into the public sphere. Over this week, we've talked about the real war, which is the modern day war with giants that's going on right now. Not the old Genesis 6 narrative that everybody wants to keep talking about, which was a past war that was already won. And the battle that we're in right now, even though that battle is the Lord's and it's already won, but it doesn't mean that these entities, which are the disembodied spirits of the giants, even though everybody be like, the Nephilim, Book of Enoch, Nephilim, Book of Enoch, Nephilim, Book of Enoch, Nephilim. And they always fail to mention the name Jesus Christ, the one who died on the cross and rose with all power and authority and might. Anyway, I'm going to always make fun of them people until we get this drilled into our heads. Stop highlighting damn giants and demons. But nonetheless, let's go to what the economy was of those spirits that were here in America that are currently being arrested and exported to prison in El Salvador. We're going to see how the underground economy is coming out into the forefront. Everybody says they want the Epstein list. And yes, I think we should get the list. And, I've been saying for a long time, I've said it a couple of times, if you want to earn your citizenship in America and you're an illegal alien, then maybe they should at least unleash you on hunting down child predators. You know what I'm saying? That's a good way to earn your citizenship. Go and hunt down a bunch of child predators and child smugglers. The problem that we got right now is a significant portion that it came into this nation are participating in it. Not all, but a significant portion. And we see the Democratic Party ranting and raving, saying, yeah, y'all gonna bring back the illegals, bring back the gang members. That's the progressive left, which, let me slow down. And let me just woosah. The progressive left, which is taking over the Democratic Party and ousting the old Democrats and ushering in this new form of religion, which is wokeness. Yeah. The altar of wokeness. But this is the currency, and it's being exposed. Can we take a listen?
What did you discover as part of this movie? This is a whole underground economy of children. It's horrific.
It really is. And that some of it has to do with the policies at the border. And our film isn't political at all. But what really has happened is that a lot of kids came to the border in suburbans from very poor countries like Guatemala. And the families paid $3,000 to $5,000 per kid. And they thought that these children could have a better life here in the United States. And if you go back and watch your own news stuff, there were tents with hundreds of children, and they were all dropped off there, and we welcome them into the United States.
But we need to take care of them and make sure they're protected, and they're not.
Yeah, the problem is that the foster system does weekly and monthly checks on the children to make sure they're okay. And what happened here...
In a normal foster system.
In a foster system, what happened here is we welcome these children in here, and that sponsor families, some of the rules were changed. They don't need to be a parent or an uncle or anything. It could be anybody. And some of the traffickers suggested the sponsor, and the New York Times article says there's homes in Florida and Texas with 15 to 20 kids all sleeping on the floor, not in school, and 15 passenger vans are picking up kids, 15 at a time, and they're cleaning pig slaughterhouses and doing the whole night shift. And we're allowing this all to happen under our noses here in the greatest country of the world, the United States.
When truth
What did you do?
comes from out of the water and bursts forth, there's nothing that you can do about it. Yeah. When the truth comes forth, there's nothing you can do about it. Now, if you've been really paying attention, really been paying attention, in 2021, Owen Schroyer and Alex Jones were at the border confronting these people who were smuggling these kids in the vans. They were there confronting them and calling the police, and the police weren't doing nothing. And so now the smuggling of children is in the public's eye. But, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't really got to the nitty gritty. The nitty gritty is when you get to the commercialization of it. When you get to the real nitty gritty, you come to realize that they're traded as well. Kind of like on the stock market. Kind of like on the stock market. Kind of like I know how to say things, but don't say them the right way. Kind of like on the stock market. Kind of like how that's the one thing that can be monetized in that market. And people sit back and they say Donald Trump ain't did nothing. When I look around, I see what Donald did a whole hell of a lot. And we ain't even hit 100 days yet. We ain't even hit 100 days. And we talking about foot to the behind of the New World Order. So much so that when I come over here and I go to my, and I go to my bookmarks, I want you to hear what they got to say. Now, if you don't understand, which pretty sure many of you do, but just in case you don't, America has been under attack by a color revolution. That is what's been used against America. That is why the progressive left is being exalted. That's why you have people like Caterpillar Eyes and AOC and Bernie Sanders, the socialists, moving forward for this ultimate battle in the political realm. And it's those extreme left gods versus Christ. That ain't going to work out well for them. I can tell you that right now, so I'm not really worried about it. But here's what I'm excited about. I'm starting to see the destabilization that was being done here in America starting to trickle over to the EU. And if you don't understand, please do, that there is destabilization that's going on. And it's paid destabilization. It's finance destabilization. And I don't have a problem with U.S. aid or U.S. AID money going to destabilize the EU, because the EU are the people who are currently trying to take us to World War III. They should be destabilized. And when you look at what has happened to them with the tariffs and everything else, they are getting rocked. But we'll watch in video. Now that's going to get boring real quick because we can't tell what they're saying. But let me interject and say this. Allow me to say this, as I would once say when I was on a multiple talk show, host show, where I was the lead host, and then somebody would take over the show. I would say, well, allow me to say this. I tell you, that was wild, because we had 3 guys on our talk show, and everybody wanted to wrestle the conversation in the direction they wanted to go in. It was always wild. It was like literal tongue wrestling, trying to figure out which direction we were going in. Anyway, back to the point. The point is this. In Rome, Italy, because of mass migration or mass illegal immigration, the students have come to understand that this is a terrible thing, but they know the reason why it happened is because they're a part of the European Union. These students had some damn sense. And so we're seeing them rebel against the EU. Unfortunately, unlike on our college campuses where the students don't have any damn sense, and we've given visas to a whole bunch of 30-year-old people who call themselves students, who are activists and terrorists, we have a different problem on our hands. And the universities refuse to deal with it. But this is a beautiful sign, ladies and gentlemen, that Italy, which we know Italy's current prime minister is a hardcore conservative, beautiful woman, hardcore conservative. And it's a beautiful sign that Italy's waking up and the rejection of the EU has started. Okay? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to find the right one first. You got the right one, bite. And here's the lizard woman herself of the EU talking about, stop it, talking about how Donald Trump has savaged them with his tariffs. Now, guys, if you go back and look, the tariffs aren't that bad. It's reciprocal tariffs, and he did half. But this just goes to show you how much money the United States of America, through USAID, through these fake Social Security numbers, through all the rest of the stuff, how much we have been propping up the world. And then the world had the nerve to turn around and tell us that we was bad people, that you racist, that you crazy. Yeah, they told you that. This trick right here, this dirty sandy beach. Listen to this dirty sandy beach.
President Trump's announcement of universal tariffs on the whole world, including the European Union, is a major blow to the world economy.
Damn right it is.
I deeply regret this choice.
Don't give a damn.
Let's be clear-eyed about the immense consequences. The global economy will massively suffer.
What you gonna do, attack us?
Uncertainty will spiral
What you
and
gonna do?
trigger the rise of further protectionism.
Damn right.
The consequences will be dire for millions of people around the globe.
Oh shit, she a lizard.
Also for the most vulnerable.
Oh, did y'all see that? Oh, hell no. Oh shit, she a real lizard. Pardon my language, guys. I'm sorry. I can't keep my mouth perfect all the time. That's a real lizard person. Watch it. Watch it happen.
For millions of people around the globe.
Real blizzard person. There it is. Now, for those of y'all who don't understand, people say this is digital, whatever, pixelation. No, every time them damn lizards is on them and they get upset or they in fear, this is what happens on the camera. I knew that trick was a lizard. I knew that witch was a lizard. Look at that. Man, can I zoom? I'm going to zoom. In the words of Blue, I'm going to zoom in on this so y'all can see it. Let me zoom in. Look at that lizard. Yeah. We going to see. This done told y'all, truth be coming out in them dark waters.
The consequences will be dire for millions of people around the globe.
Oh, she got scared, and look what she did to camera.
Also for the most vulnerable countries, which are now subject to some of the highest U.S. tariffs. The opposite of what we wanted to achieve.
I don't give a damn if you're vulnerable. See, that's the problem. I don't care if I'm vulnerable. You vulnerable. We was vulnerable to MS-13 gang members. We was vulnerable to Trey Daragua gang members. We was vulnerable to a whole bunch of crazy leftists running around. Hey, I'm vulnerable, lady. Lizard. You ain't even a lizard. I always knew there was something wrong with her head. She has a lizard-looking head. I know y'all be like, DW clowning. Hell no, I'm serious. Look at that big old head, man. I guarantee you, guys, if y'all sitting on the sofa next to your wife right now, or if your wife is in the kitchen, turn around, look and see if your wife got a big lizard head like that. I promise you, she don't have no head like this. That's not normal. That's mega mind brain head. That's a big Anunnaki lizard brain in there. Fallen angel head is what she got.
The tariffs will also hurt consumers around the world.
I don't give a damn. It
will be felt immediately. The costs.
Ford came around and said they can give me some family pricing on a new Ford. Yeah. Now, Land Rover came out today and Jaguar came out today and said we're halting our exports of our vehicles to the United States of America. We will no longer export our Land Rovers and our Range Rovers. First of all, I've had a Rover and the Sun B breaks all the time. Second of all, y'all need to get rid of the air suspension that you've been having on those things, because when the suspension go out, it's $5,000 every time to fix the damn suspension with them damn airbags. Yeah. So guess what? I'm fine with not having your Jaguar, and I'm fine with not having your Range Rover or your Land Rover Defender. That's fine. Guess what? Ford, y'all make something similar. I buy that from you. Yeah. Made in America, baby. I'm fine with made in America. Keep your damn fake, overpriced luxury car. And the craziest thing, the only reason why you're paying all that money for it because they put a damn Jaguar on it. Yeah. It ain't no different than a damn Kia high-end vehicle, except for that damn logo. Now, I can't say that about the Rovers. The Rovers is definitely different. Rovers, It's a beautiful machine. I actually love them. I do love them. Every time I ever had one, I loved it. But it's a damn problem. You get it brand new, it's got to go into the shop. Oh, Lord, don't let the warranty wear out. Don't get outside the warranty. That's a vehicle that you buy, and you buy a new one every year for the full tax write-off, because if you get past that warranty, boy, you gonna get molested. Your pocket's gonna get empty. Yeah.
Of doing business
Y'all know I'm telling the truth because I'm speaking from pain right there. Anybody who ever had one of the vehicles, you know I'm telling the truth.
with the United States will drastically increase. And what is more, there seems to be no order in the disorder. At the same time...
No. Y'all said y'all wanted order out of chaos. They the ones that said, order, I am Klaus Schwab. Let me do the black version of Klaus Schwab. I am Klaus Schwab. I wish I had like a little Jerry curl. I'm going to go buy me a Jerry curl. I'm going to get a Jerry curl. I'm going to get some spray. And I'm going to spray it on it. From now on, that's going to be Klaus Schwab with a Jerry curl. Jerry curls and sunshades with Soul Ghost, some of that pink oil moisturizer, what I'm going to be spraying. Watch. Give it 48 hours. Klaus Schwab was the one that said, we must make order out of chaos. The world is a more angry world. See, they cool as long as they can control what's happening. But when they get out of control now, it's chaos, and we don't like the chaos.
We are prepared to respond.
Oh, really?
We are already finalizing the first package of countermeasures in response to tariffs on steel. And we're now preparing for further countermeasures to protect our interests. I know that many of you feel let down by our oldest ally.
Thank you, Jimmy Ferguson. I know many of you feel let down by our oldest. No. We want y'all oldest ally. We was the person that y'all had tied up in the basement and y'all was coming playing fun games on. Yeah. Y'all had us handcuffed up in the air like this, and y'all came and played games with us. Y'all did us dirty. Your dirty sandy beaches. That's what y'all was doing. And now that the party's over, now that America done popped the handcuffs, put on some shoes, put on some pants, put on a shirt and covered up her supple nipples, now all of a sudden y'all mad. Yeah, you want to know why you're mad? Because now she done went in the closet and she done found your weapons. Yeah. And she done found her bazooka. Yep. And she's sitting there saying, all right. Oh, there they go in the car. Ooh. Yeah. Go ahead, big girl America. I love you, girl. And you know America is thick and fine, too. You know what I'm saying? For real. She ain't no skinny girl. She thick, fine girl. Big, voluptuous. Everything. Perfect. Because that's what she is. She's a machine. Yeah. She's a well-oiled machine. I envision America being like one of the female pole vaulters. You know what I'm saying? You ever watch them beautiful female pole vaulters? Like that. Just gorgeous. I mean, a beautiful athletic specimen. That's just amazing. That's our nation. But she a badass too. And she get mad and she get weapons and she starts shooting you. And that's what's going on right now. It's shots fired via tariffs all over the world. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something else that I noticed going on. And I want you to notice this too. Have you noticed that since the swatting incident started, there's been a lot of conservative commentators that seem like they kind of, they done went off the deep end? Since the threat started, there's some people who, they're like, well, what's going on with this one? And it was overnight shift. I saw one today. He was like, I lost millions of dollars supporting Trump and those his tariffs. And he started going crazy. Hold on, dog. If you heavily invested in the stock market and you don't understand what the tariffs meant, that ain't the president's fault. It just means you dumb. You understand what I'm saying? It just means you dumb. Now, here's the craziest thing. While you're sitting there crying and whining, what they say, buy low, sell high. Buy what, guys? Low, sell high. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, when do you buy? When it's low. When do you sell? When it's high. Buy low, sell high. So, DW, you know the market's crashing, it's going low. Buy low, sell high. DW, Bitcoin crash and Ethereum crash. Buy low, sell high. VW, gold is at an all-time high. Buy low, sell high. Get you some silver. You dig? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, man. But I think something done happened. I think some cage has been rattled in the conservative commentators communities. Yeah, I think some people pulled up on some people, man. Yeah, I think they pulled up on some people because I'm seeing some behavior patterns that don't make no sense. No, they don't make no sense. And ladies and gentlemen, from now on, we're going to start bring back the 80s a little bit because I'm tired of this world that we live in. And I want to highlight one of the 80s videos. These are the kind of things we grew up watching. These were our infomercials. You want to see one? And it was stuff just like this. If you're younger and you like to call me Uncle James, listen to Uncle James. Listen to your Uncle James. This is the kind of crap we grew up watching. This is exactly why we don't be playing around like y'all be playing around. Because we grew up with some real stuff. They just showed the kid drowning on national TV. This is the kind of stuff that was on TV. Better learn how to swim. And it was worse than that. It was way worse than that. But I'll say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why when you meet people from the generation that was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they have 0 Fs. Yeah. There was no such thing as really being offended by anything. Matter of fact, let me explore the 80s kids thing so I can see if there's a little bit more. Because stuff was so crazy. Cartoons were crazy. The stuff that they had on TV back then, people would have a meltdown over. For example, like Weird Science. I mean, how many of y'all remember Weird Science? This scene in Weird Science. I fell in love with that woman on Weird Science. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Damn He-Man, Voltron. People shooting BB guns at you. It was wild. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let me get back on track. Go back. The only way I get back on track is I got to go back to more. And I go to bookmarks. Let me get off of that. I'm sorry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are protests going all around the United States right now, and they're all fake protests. And I'm wondering. I mean, this has got to be some kind of setup, right? We know that it's NGOs that fund the protesters. I'm pretty sure I even found videos of them dropping the protesters off. For example, here, Laura Loomer, with the videos of them dropping the protesters off. And the caption reads, At Loomer Unleashed just captured video footage of Islamicist protesters dressed in full Islamic garb being bussed into Washington, D.C. for a massive anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk protests that are happening today. We caught them on camera getting off the bus with their Islamic kihifis and Palestine flash. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Let's just keep it real. it's going to be very few Palestinians and actually Islamists in there. Let's just keep it real. The real Islamists, they don't operate like this. These are paid protesters who wrap themselves up like they're Islamists because guess what? If you come out and you start beating them up, the news media can say, oh, you know, the Trump administration attacked the Islamists and this. It did. To anybody who's like a Muslim, you should be pissed because it's nothing more than liberal white people using you as a shield. Don't believe me? Who is right there? Right there on the screen. 2 liberal white women. They use y'all as a shield like they use everybody else as a shield. Now, I don't agree with your religion. I don't agree with your God. Let me keep it real with you. I don't agree with the rules of your religion because y'all got some wild stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's one thing we can all agree on. They shouldn't be using you as a shield to try and make us beef out with you, to try and make us want to kill you. Now, naturally, there's quite a few of y'all that want to kill us. You understand? And that's why it's actually powerful, because there are people here who want to kill us. But not all of y'all do. And therein lies the problem. The problem lies in the fact that they know this and they weaponize you like they weaponize everybody else. And quite frankly, they done ran through every ethnic group and religious group they could weaponize. They just got through weaponizing the Jews going into Donald Trump's Trump Tower, right? And it was like, oh, it's the Jews against Trump or the Jews for Palestine. Wait, what? The Jews that support the Palestinian protesters. What? Wait, well, no, that don't make no sense. Them people been beefed out for years. Oh, we're the liberal Jews. Okay. They ran through that. That didn't work. And so now they done ran over and they just straight up pretending to be y'all. You know what I'm saying? Name stealers. Face stealers. They just pretending to be you.
Yeah, Trump sucks, right?
And I wonder how much they get paid. I wonder how much they get paid to run around and do that. And my question is it worth enough for you to get facial recognition technology to scan your face and then to deport you behind? Because that's what's coming down the pipeline. I can honestly and truthfully tell you the only reason why these people ain't been deported is because as of right now, the enemy media is giving them too much cover. Let something blow up. I'm telling you, the first time something really blows up. See, we ain't seen nothing blow up. Y'all remember what happened on 9/11 when some stuff blew up? Now, we know we're not going to talk about, we're not going to even go into the depths of what actually happened on 9/11 because we know what actually happened, right? But understand, if we get something close to another 9/11, boy, it's going to end bad. Because right now, America's sitting on the edge of its seat, figuratively. The American people saying, man, this crap here don't make no sense. Hell, this don't make no sense. And there's this veneer of civility that's there. There's not really a whole bunch of civility left for this kind of behavior. But there's this thin layer of it. Because it's like you're pushing, but you haven't officially pushed too far. You understand what I'm saying? You're pushing, and you're within the bounds of, okay, we got the right to protest, according to the First Amendment, right? Let something go boom. When something go boom, just like when something went boom during 9/11, when something goes boom, and 9/11's boom wasn't organic, but you saw what happened from that inorganic boom, the way the American people came together. Let there be a real boom. There will be no opposition to grabbing all them people and sending all of them to get more. There will be no opposition to any of it. They will be you can sit and cry and whine on the news. People will be in the street saying, get the news person and send them to El Salvador. See, this is the dangerous zone that we're into. You know what I'm saying? My way into the danger zone. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at. In the danger zone. And so we have the threat of economic collapse, which nuclear war, civil war. Civil war, I don't really see it being that big of a deal because, quite frankly, it's going to be progressives versus everybody else. They really don't even have guns, right? The nuclear war is the one that I worry about. But anyway, proceeding forward, back to what I was saying. Where's my bookmarks? I'm sorry, guys. I'll get back to what I was saying. I think Uncle Alex talks about the fact that it's coming out. Uncle Alex
having some big filmmakers on, CNBC of all places, having some big filmmakers on about the hundreds of thousands, even millions of missing children. They now have been finding them where they are, literally being warehoused, sex slavery, you name it, pointing the finger directly at the Democratic Party and their operations. This is on CNBC now, for heaven's sakes. CNBC of all places.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, Uncle Alex, that it's on CNBC because the protections have been removed for those people. And it's one of those things. The sink is shipping. I mean, the ship is sinking. The sink is shipping. The ship is sinking. And if you don't get off that ship, homie, you got a problem on your hands. You see, when the things that are in the darkness come into the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. When that light hits those things, which is truth, which there is a person who said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. My big homie said that. When that truth hits, which is him, when he hits, it's nasty. Yeah. It's nasty. In one of my videos just recently, I don't care. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to leave that alone. I'll leave it alone. And I think it's important that we get a Diddy update. And Terrence Howard came out with his mathematics and his science, and he hit the screen. He talked. It's amazing that if you can articulate and be kind of mesmerize people with what you say, how far you can get, whether it makes sense or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can sit there confidently and look good and really run it, you can get a long way, even though you're talking bull crap. Now he's back talking about some things that actually make sense. The math he was talking about made no sense.
But when you give up your man,
and he's talking about what happened at the Diddy parties. So let's see what Terrence has to say.
but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that?
Terrence is talking about those who made deals with Satan. I would love it if people would just actually tell the truth. It's like, shut up, James. Let the man talk. People won't hear this crap.
If I lose my integrity, you got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach. And you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing. And I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone. Terrence Howard hit it probably as best as you could. The beauty of this is, though, that all of it's coming to light. If you just went back, I don't know 3 years ago, the people who were saying that about Hollywood were conspiracy theorists. You're conspiracy theorist, DW. And you would get the little thing at the bottom of your video. This is a conspiracy theory. Remember that? They would give you, a community note is what it was? Conspiracy theory. You remember it was about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. No, I was still covering the cryptids and monsters. So maybe it was, maybe it was 3 years ago when they said, conspiracy channels would be dialed down. What happens when all the conspiracy theorists turn out to be telling the truth? Are they going to now shadow ban the people who are wrong? Because in fact, they are the conspiracy people. They have the conspiracy theories. So the conspiracy is not that Diddy was having parties. The conspiracy is that Diddy wasn't having parties. The conspiracy is not that the borders was wide open and that people were coming over and trafficking kids. The conspiracy was the borders are closed. The conspiracy was this is good for you. Are they going to pay a price for that? Is there going to be some kind of penalty for that? You know what I'm saying? Is there going to be a price or a penalty? Now, Klaus Schwab.
Governments.
My name is Klaus. Klaus the Suave. Klaus is saying that he's stepping down. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be patient with this, because this is the second time Klaus said he was going to step down. If you go back through my shorts, about 6 months ago, I was on here celebrating. Yeah, Klaus Schwab stepped down. His ass ain't going nowhere. He stayed right where the hell he was. Y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that? He stayed right exactly where the hell he was. Let's take a sponsor break for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll say this to you. And I want you to understand something. If you haven't had the opportunity to do some investing in precious metals, I'm going to tell you, now is still the time. It's a great time to do it. If I were you and I had an IRA or if I had a 401k, I would definitely have a portion, not necessarily all, that's not smart, but I would definitely have a portion of my assets in gold or silver. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it's God's money. Yeah. It's God's money. And there's a limited supply of it. It's unlike fiat currency, which can be printed over and over at will. It's unlike Elon Musk said there were 4 magic money printing computers inside of the United States government that would just print checks and send them out. Yes. You can't make more gold. You can't make more silver. Now, I wish we could just go grab one of those asteroids that's flying around, drill into it, pull the gold and silver out, and be super rich. But there's limited supplies and quantities of it. And as we see the tariffs hitting, and as we see the games going on in the stock market, where the puts are being called, the shorts are being called on gold and silver that places like BlackRock and Vanguard had, where they are being forced to actually come up with physical supplies of gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen. And nobody wants to sell it to them. You know why? You want to know why? Because they don't want the fiat. They want their gold. I'm telling you, we are in the perfect storm for commodities, particularly silver and gold. Remember that song Kirk Franklin used to say before he went crazy and started twerking on stage? Silver and gold, silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. No fame, he lied about this, no fame or fortune, no riches untold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. I remember that, man. That was some beautiful music before he lost his damn mind. Started twerking on stage like gospel Justin Bieber. Yeah. The Justin Bieber gospel. Yeah. That's what Kirk Franklin is right now. And I'm the one that said it. Kurt, I said it about you. I said that, Kurt. None of these people in the chat say that. I said that about you, Kurt. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, Klaus Schwab stepping down. Great thing. Because he's a lizard person. Full on lizard person. Oh, this is what I was talking about earlier. They were talking about how the tariffs is going to be a terrible thing and how the cars are going to have problems. What did Ford say?
Exactly right. For the next couple of months, we're going to offer our customers the same deal that our employees get. And as you say, that's worth thousands of dollars. You come into our store, you get employee pricing. This is kind of to call a little bit of a timeout. We've heard some uncertainty from our customers, and we want them to be assured that Ford, the most American auto company, is going to do right by them, as are our dealers. We make the most cars here. We employ the most. We export the most. And so we here at Ford, we're in a good position to address customers' concern and give them a really great deal on a great vehicle.
So that's great.
Exactly right. For the next couple of months, we're going to offer our customers the same.
I have a family member of mine who owns a few automobile dealerships. He called me. Jay, what are you doing, son? I said, man, I'm sitting there smoking my cigar, reading the Bible. He said, hey, remember I told you there's going to come a time period where you and such, I'm not going to say such and such names, that's another other family member, y'all going to need to start getting to some dealerships. And I said, yeah, but I don't think I'm ready for that right now. I got too much stuff going on. He said, well, I want you to know it's getting close to that time. I said, well, how close are we talking about? He said months close. And I said, well, you going to put up the bread? He said, we never talked about me putting up the money. I said, well, if we ain't got no money, then I'm not doing nothing. Because I ain't got that kind of paper, man. You talking about big paper. Now, he got big long dollars. He got money so tall, all the ladies won't fall. I ain't got that kind of money, man. But we're moving into a time period, ladies and gentlemen. It's important that you get this. Is AI going to be a problem? Yeah, AI is going to be a problem. But if you are someone who has a trade that AI can't replace, boy, you about to be rich. Are you talking about blue collar rich? For real, blue collar rich. Anything that's built around the blue collar world, oh, you're going to be getting that paper. Yeah, you're going to get money. You know all this stuff about, I told you this. When they opened the borders and they brought in all the illegals, and then when they started kicking the illegals out, they was like, well, you know, who's going to pick our cotton? Who's going to pick our strawberries? The robots, the AI. They already had AI doing many of those things. It was a lie that they was needed to do that in the first place. Watch this. We're going to see, watch. Robot. I'm going to call it a robot. Apple pickers. You trying to tell me you going to use an illegal when you got a robot? Look at that. What you going to use an illegal when you got a robot that can do that? I'm going to pay somebody when I got a robot that can do this? Look at this. Where's the audio? Look at that. Why would I pay somebody? They didn't bring them here to work. They brought them over here to occupy, to steal, kill, and destroy is what they brought them here for. Why I need them when I got robots that can do this? You don't believe me? Here goes some more robots. Look at this robot. Perfectly picking it. Look at it. And that robot could work 24/7. Look at that robot. But they sitting there on the news talking about, look at the autonomous tractor and foreman. Look at it. Look at this. It's a robot. And the AI robot could do it all. So let's just keep it real. All that, we need them for this? No, we don't need them for that. Never did. That was about taking over the United States of America. That was about putting them on the public dole, voting all Republicans out, taking over every city, and turning them into what they wanted to turn them into. Because that's what robots is. Look at these robots. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. The robot picks the fruit and then drops it in there. And it's working on a drone. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. This kind of looked like some Matrix type stuff. Remember out in the Matrix, they had the thing with the peoples in the pods, and I could see how we can get to the Matrix pretty quickly. But we just keeping it real. These little jobs that they talking about, ain't nobody about to be doing them type of jobs, man. So if you really want to get some bread, then if you know how to fix them robots, then you're gonna make a lot of money. You understand? Fixing robots is gonna make you a lot of money if you can fix the robots. Anyway, I went down another rabbit hole. I'm sorry. That's the whole purpose of me doing these shows like this, because I just be, this, quite frankly, this stuff I be saying to myself when I'm reading the news. I be talking to myself. Well, we might as well hit on a little bit of this. If you are a liberal woman in this chat right now, can you put your hand up? Don't be ashamed, liberal woman. Do not be ashamed. I'm serious. Don't be ashamed. I want to show you something. Don't be ashamed, liberal women. You feel like, we all should get along, go along and get along. Don't be ashamed. Now, I want you to look at this man's face right here. Look at that thing. And I want you to wonder for a moment. Just imagine for a moment. You at home. It's you, your dog, or your cat. Maybe you got a dog and a cat. Because you ain't got no man. There's nobody there to protect you. Because you strong, stunning, and bold and beautiful. And don't get me wrong. You stunning, beautiful, bold, and you brave. But this is his philosophy. And then he come up in you, he just kicking your door.
Of legislations. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in this surah, or in this particular ayah, also prohibited for marriage are women already married. That means that is those who have husbands. It is prohibited to marry them so long as they are still married, unless they are divorced and have completed the iddah, the waiting period. Except any slave girls you may own. That is those who have been captured in war. If a disbelieving woman who is married is captured in war, she becomes permissible for the Muslims after one menstrual cycle has passed, which serves to establish that she is not pregnant.
Okay, ladies. Do I need to rewind that? Do I need to play it again for you? This is their rules. You know what I'm saying? If you captured in war, the one menstrual cycle. Can I ask you, liberal lady, something? Can you go find somewhere where a Christian man is saying anything like this about how they gonna deal with you? Even though everybody want to talk about white Christian, you're a white male. You're a white male. Can you go find? Let's just go find me a white man on the internet saying something similar to this. Then what I want you to do is go find me a Christian saying something similar to this that is of any color, any hue of wheat, as my sisters like to say in the chats. Find it for me somewhere, anywhere. You won't. You won't. You just won't. I'm sorry. And I'm going to call this the liberal woman's highlight moment, just as a reminder to all my liberal sisters out there, because I don't hate you. I just want your eyes to be open. I just want you to listen. Watch this.
Is it acceptable to marry my cousin? If you want to marry her, go ahead. It is halal. Now, for some reason, this is something people make fun of Muslims. Oh, go marry your cousin, go marry your cousin. Yo, bro, we marry cousins all the time. People have been marrying cousins for millions of years, bro. And yes, the chances of a birth defect might be increased, but it's not to the level where Allah knows us. Allah knows best. It's not to the level where it's going to be dangerous. My parents were cousins. Look how I turned out. I have brothers and sisters who married cousins. I have
Moving on. I just want to show you guys what you're dealing with when you support liberalism. It's real easy to show you. I know you be feeling a certain way, but it's real easy to show you. Here's one of the liberal women in Canada having a wake-up call. And I'm going to tell you, she looked like she full on, like she got a couple of cats, man.
I voted Trudeau in the first time. I voted Trudeau in the second time. Now, because of my faithfulness to the Liberal Party, I get to sit and pay almost $3,000 a month for my mortgage. $3,000 a month for a mortgage that 4 years ago was costing me $1,200 a month. So, you know, you have to start asking a lot of questions about what's going on with the Liberal government. You want to know why I'm speaking up? Because I'm tired of our government taking everything we have. Quite frankly, between taxes and insurance, we put out of pocket, 60 to 70% of our income every single month. This is ridiculous. We're living in Canada and we're paying more out of pocket for taxes and insurance than we are to live. This is ridiculous. Where are our leaders? Where are our leaders that have morals and leaders that put Canadians first? That's what I want to know.
You voted for the Liberals and you removed all those leaders, lady. Yeah. But, you know, the awakening has to happen to everybody. It truly does. It has to awaken. The awakening has to happen. And again, to all my liberal ladies, honestly, you tend to be older, you tend to be white, you tend to boss your husbands around. You know, you kind of get what you vote for. Those are the tendencies of you ladies. And then the new generation, we know what they tend to look like, right? And you get what you vote for. But I'm happy to see people waking up. If I could give you one piece of advice, for those who may be waking up at this moment in time, the piece of advice is, as you come away from the liberal mind hive and the brain bug, the persecution that comes from family and friends is only designed to solidify the fact that you don't need to be with those people. Don't get discouraged when they turn their backs on you. Don't get upset and get your feelings hurt. Just sit there and listen. And just soak it in. Because it's going to be the same person that you liked. They liked you 24 hours ago. Now they hate you. And you're going to feel that hate. The words are going to be knives. That's like shing, 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 shing. Don't worry about it. You're not going to die. Just realize that's how you once worked. And embrace the fact that I'm no longer like that. And then the world opens up to you as you scan the environment and you look for people who are now thinking like you. And you will find that you have left a barren desert land, emotionally, politically, intellectually, and you've come to an oasis. You come to a beautiful garden where we all love you and accept you. Even though last month, you was wishing you could chop our head off. Yeah. As long as you don't come over here with a sword, we cool. Now you come over here with a sword, we all got problems. I got ladies in the dark waters, they got blades. I got the kind that keep the razor blade under their tongue. I got the kind that keep it in their waistband. And I got the kind that carry them things in their purse. You heard me? Yeah. That's how it is in the dark waters. We ain't gonna talk about the dudes. The dudes are the savages. The ladies got them things on them over here. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. Let's see what Bennett Johnson talking about. The violence against Elon Musk. I'm done talking about Elon Musk. I want to break from talking about Elon Musk. You know what I want to do? Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. I need to go to the YouTube. I want to show you something. I'm going to end up this conversation on this. But I got to go to my history, and I got to find the dude talking about it. There he is. Now I need to make sure, before he get to running his mouth, shut up. I need to make sure that it's centered on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hello, boys and girls. My name is Uncle James. And today, we are going to talk about the giants. And I want you to understand that when the giants died in the flood, which is what he's going to talk about, their spirits became demons. And then those demons roamed the earth because there was no place for them to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle James wants you to understand. When we start talking about what the giants were, the mighty men of old, which is what they talk about, and the mighty men of renown, it means that they were mighty men that were worshipped and praised. When you look at what's going on with social media, what is the best place for a demon to get attention right now? I want you to comment right now in the chat. Where can they get the most attention? They were getting it in Hollywood. Yeah, they was getting it in Hollywood. But it was only a certain amount of peoples that they could use in Hollywood. Then came along this social media thing. And everybody got a camera. So they said, hold on, I don't have to just go deal with Beyonce. I don't have to just go deal with Diddy. I don't have to just go deal with Jay-Z. It's millions of people that I could partner with. Don't believe me? Listen to what this boy got to say, and we're going to play it on loop. Go ahead and say what you got to say, dog.
Because what is content if I died in the flood?
Because what is content if I died in a flood? Everybody think this dude crazy. I done watched this demonized, demon-possessed dude 10,000 times. And they don't realize it's not a human speaking.
Yeah. So, but what you mean when you say we dead already?
What I said, we died in the flood. See, listen, God, what a demigod, the fake God, he created the world.
God, the demigod, the fake God, he created the world. Does that sound like a human being talking to you? What is content when we died in a flood? It's a very smart damn question. But see, he talking to people that don't have no damn sense. And so they don't know they're talking to a vessel with a spirit in it. What is content to somebody who died in the flood when they create content? It's worship. Worship. I said this about the damn Bigfoots and the Dogmans and the Chupacabras and everything else. I told y'all that. DW, you don't know nothing. No, I know it because I ran projects where there was real live cameras in the woods where there were times that they showed up when there were the most people. That's when they made their appearance. That's when I'm sitting there one night early in the morning. I said, man, this is a form of worship. We about to end this. I don't worship these things. This don't make no sense. It'd be clear, thousands of people that was on them cameras. There was about 300-400 people that paid. There was another 400-500 people that stole it, which is why they'll never get a project like that from me again. We want truth. We want evidence, DW. But when you're trying to partner with them to monetize it and make sure you can put the cameras up to capture the evidence, you're a grifter. He's a grifter. Man, whatever. Screw you. Go find somebody else to figure out how to do it. I bet you nobody else will do what I did. I promise you they won't. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. Let's listen to the question again.
Because what is content if I died in the flood?
Because what is content if I died in the flood?
Yeah. So, but what you mean when you say we dead already?
What I said, we died in the flood.
We died in the flood.
See, listen, God, what a demigod, the fake God, he created the world.
So the fake God created the world. Who would claim that the creator of the world is fake? You notice, and I want you to notice the body language. You can damn near see the spirit come upon a man. Watch it.
What is content if I died in the flood?
Yeah. So, but what you mean when you say we dead already?
What I said, we died in the flood. See, listen, God.
Nigga turned to Stevie
the
Wonder.
demigod, the fake guy, he created the world.
The Negro turned into Stevie Wonder. I just called to say I love you. What I'm making it from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, the fake God. Come on, man. That's the point I'm making to you. Damn it, I popped the earbud. Lord, I'm sorry. I was just joking, man. Like, I don't be mad at me. I was don't be popping the earbuds out of me like that. The point I'm making is this. It's obvious. Everybody want to talk about the giants. And there was giants in those days. DW, you need to read the book of Enoch. You need to read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And you need to read this. No, Negro. What you need to do is keep watching the waters and see what's right in front of you. It's right there in front of your face. You ain't got to go back to the book of Enoch to see these bastards. They right here, right now. You just got to know the rules of operation. You got to know how they function. And the best way to know that is read your Bible. You know that they sit at altars. You know that their business can be an altar. You know their YouTube channel could be an altar. And then you say, okay, you know that mankind was made as a vessel to be in partnership with the spirit. And so, when you start looking for the spirits behind giants, guess where they going to be? In partnership with people. And you can always tell what the giants want because it's going to be what they're promoting. You heard me? It's that damn simple. But everybody want to lead you down this rabbit hole. Yeah, the book of Enoch is part of the Ethiopian Bible. And that it referenced the giants and how they were so tall that they were in the clouds and that they would eat men. And they ate everything so much so that the Lord was mad at them and he defiled everything. And then the Lord was mad at them and then he flooded the earth. Oh, and by the way, did you know the reason why Noah was left over is because Noah's genetics was still pure. And that's why the Lord used Noah to start all over. Yeah, did you know that? Yeah, I'm an expert on giants. But you don't know a damn thing about the authority in Jesus Christ. You don't know nothing about the courts of heaven. You don't know nothing about the justice system of heaven. You don't know nothing about the reward system of heaven. You don't know nothing about the priesthood you're supposed to walk in as a Christian or the damn kingship you should walk in as a Christian. But I know about giants. And I'm going to proselytize giants. I'm going to go out and teach you about giants. You know nothing. You know nothing. You know nothing. You know nothing. There's nothing that you know. I know more than you.